Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're going to take a look at this little party game right here called The Table is Lava. Now, this is put out by R&R Games. It is for ages 14 and up, 20 to 30 minutes probably, and you're looking at 2 to 4 players. So this is kind of like a dexterity-esque kind of game where you're going to be flicking cards onto the table, trying to knock over other people's meeples and keep yours on the rocks or, I don't know, pyroclastic flow, I don't know what you call it, but you're trying to keep people off the lava. If your meeples fall off of the cards that they're on, then they're in the lava and you're not going to score points for them anymore. Let's get down to the table. I'll show you how it works, and then we'll come back with some final thoughts in just a few moments. So here I have a 4-player game of Table is Lava set up for you, and it is a very basic setup where each person has a starting card in their deck of cards, and they're going to place that onto the board in whatever configuration that it must that they want it to be, provided that it's touching at least one other card that is out here on the table already. And then you're going to take 2 of your meeples, put 1 on your starting card, and then 1 on the card that is 2 to the right of the one that you started with. So green puts 1 here and then puts 1 on blue. Blue does the same thing, and so forth and so on. So the first thing you're going to do on your turn is you're going to take one of your cards and launch it onto the table in one of 2 different ways. The first way is just by launching it this way, but you have to be past the edge of the table. The second thing is that you can set it on the edge of the table and then flick it onto the surface however you might want it to be done. Now, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get this to where it touches at least one other card somewhere so that you can then take your meeple and put 1 on there. The thing is, though, is that some of these cards have other color meeples on them as well. So while you're placing 2 on this card, blue is also going to be able to place 1 if it is one of the ones that you launch out here on the table. But as you're doing that, you're wanting to try to knock off other people's meeples, because meeples are going to be worth points after everybody has gone through and played their entire hand of cards. Now, the last card that you play, you won't be able to place any meeples on it, but you could definitely try to knock as many meeples off. So, what's worth points? Meeples that are standing up at the end of the game are worth 2 points, and then any meeples that are laying down, as long as they're still touching a card, even that would be considered okay, are worth 1 point. And then whoever has the most points is the winner. If there's a tie, then whoever has the most meeples on their cards, including meeples of other colors, they would be the tiebreaker win. Now, with all that having been said, when you flick a card or launch a card out onto the surface, if it lands out here and it's not touching anything, you would normally not put any meeples out on the card. But the card still stays out there. Now, there is a variant, it's called a Rock Island variant, which is a pretty cool variant where it says that if you launch a card out and it doesn't touch anything and it is not within a thumb's width of another card, then you can still put your meeple out there. But that's the Rock Island variant where you can have cards out here and then other cards now can be thrown onto that card or so forth and so on, so that this is another kind of lava flow island that is being created here. But that's just a variant. The basic rules say that if this comes out and it is not within a thumb's width of any other card, then you cannot place a meeple there. So you're going to be launching a card out here. If it's touching, you get to place a meeple. If it's not touching, you don't get to place a meeple, and then it comes to the next person's turn. So as we're going here, we're going to go ahead and have green go first. We're going to have green. We're going to launch a card out there, and they have knocked both of those meeples off. That one is still touching this one, so that one's still okay. But this one is returned to red's supply and doesn't cost anything. And since I am touching or within a thumb width of another card on the table, I can place 2 meeples on here like so. And now yellow's going to come in here and they're going to try to do some damage to green because, quite frankly, green was not very cool with them. So that card gets launched in and doesn't actually make it. So it doesn't have anything on here. However, again, we'll play with the Rock Island variant. So we're going to go ahead and put 2 yellows will be able to come onto this card. And then since there is a red meeple on here as well, he'll be able to place one of his meeples out there too. Green looks to be dominant, although yellow is doing very well. So we're just going to try to flick a card on there. And it does land. All right, so it is touching at least one other card or within a thumb width. So he's able to place 2 of his meeples out here like that as well. And then red is going to come in, and I think they're going to come in like a fireball. Oh. All right, so it definitely took that yellow guy out of his misery, and he is touching at least one other card or within a thumb's width, so he'll be able to place 2 of his meeples out there as well. So that's how the game would be played until everybody has played all of their cards. Once everybody has done that, you'll count up points. So if the game ends like this right here, green would be getting 2, 4, 6, 8 points. Yellow would get 2, 4, 6. Red would also have 2, 4, 6. And then blue would have 2, 4, 6, 7 points. So in this particular case, green has won because it has 4 meeples standing up. But of course, you have a whole lot of meeples here, and you're going to be playing a whole lot of other cards. But that's generally how you play The Table is Lava. So that's about that for The Table is Lava. I have to say that for a party game, this is pretty fun because it meshes dexterity in with that party-ish feel in such a way that it doesn't come off or it doesn't feel goofy or underwrought or overwrought for that matter, making you do things that you normally wouldn't do and all of that kind of stuff. You're simply trying to launch a card or flick a card out into the table, knock over some meeples, but get it to stay exactly where you need it to so you can place more of your meeples out. So it, I think, correctly balances that goofy factor along with the fun factor, along with, hey, there actually is a game here. And I like party games that do that. So let's go ahead and get to my pros and cons. So my first pro of the game is the fact that the component quality is good. It's not great, but it doesn't take away from your enjoyment of the game. And so that's one of the things. If the components of the game don't detract from your enjoyment, then I consider it a pro because they've done their job correctly, so to speak. Now, it could have been any number of other chintzier or less expensive types of components out there. It could have been cardboard standees or whatever it might have been, and that would have been okay, but they went the extra mile, so to speak. That's a lot of quotes, air quotes, but and they put those wooden meeples in there, which is a cool fun factor for the game. The cards are decent, they're not great either, but they are good quality. So component quality is well done. My second pro of the game is, well, quite frankly, it's fun. I mean, it's a party game, and party games should be fun, right? But sometimes, in my opinion at least, they aren't, because they take themselves too seriously, any number of reasons why I don't think a party game is fun. Maybe it's just not my cup of tea, whatever it might be, but this one is just goofy, silly fun, and it takes 20 minutes. It's a filler game, so it works really well, and it plays really easily. It takes literally just a couple of minutes to teach you how to play this game, and then you're off and running. It's not difficult at all, and I like it when games do that. It's a fast pickup, and it is a fast play. If you want to play it again, you absolutely can do that, and you'll probably still have time to get ready for that next game that you're waiting on people to finish so that you can start a new game at game night or something to that effect. So my second pro here is that gameplay is fun, and it's fast, and it's fun. And my third pro for the game is the graphic design and artwork is cool. Now, it's not beautiful or picturesque or anything like that, but it's funny and it's cartoony, and it takes those kind of caricatures of those different meeples with little sad faces or frown faces, and it really lightens the mood of the game. If you really kind of think about it, this is a horrific game because you're literally trying to knock people off into lava and save your own people. So this is really kind of a cutthroat theme, but they've lightened it up very well, and it does have a very strong take that element to it, but at the same time it's so lighthearted, and the artwork and graphic design pulls you toward that lighthearted feel of the take that element that's there. So I think they did a great job in finding using artwork and using graphic design that lends toward the intended feeling of the game. And that's a good job. And with all those pros out of the way, the one con that I have is that it does have that take that element to it where you can be really nasty towards people and just target their own meeples, and you can really pick on people with that. So when games do that, you do have to know that going in. So I usually mention that as a con, because it is very much a cutthroat kind of game, but it's really, I think, meant to be very lighthearted, but you can definitely not take it lighthearted and just try to be as much as a sniper as you possibly can with your cards and just really take people out. And that can be cumbersome. It's a light con for me because usually when I play this game, I want to try to do all these goofy things and really take it lighthearted. Other people may not. So just realize that this game can be very mean if you want it to be. And for me, that's a con. But really, that's about it for The Table is Lava. It is a party game from R&R Games. I do like a lot of the games that R&R puts out because of their simplicity and because of how fun their games usually tend to be, even though they're so simple. So with this one, I'm definitely going to give it my seal of approval, a 7 out of 10, definitely from me, because for a party game, this is one of those ones, even for just a filler game, this is one of those games that I would willingly pull out in between two larger games to try to kind of cleanse the palate, so to speak, and get ready for the next one. It is very fun, very enjoyable, and as long as you take it lighthearted, which is I think the way it's supposed to be intended, you'll have a great time with this. So 7 out of 10 from me. Thanks for joining me. I certainly appreciate it. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.